Next speaker is Professor Fred GARDAPHE.
GARDAPHE.
I always get it wrong, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
CALANDRA Institute Professor.
All right, this is something I've dedicated my whole life to, so stop me at 5 minutes because I could go on forever.
Okay.
You're going to listen because I have something to say that you've never heard before. Why are we in this mess? We are in this mess because we have not paid attention to the Jews and to the blacks. We have not learned our lesson of the minstrel show. How did blacks first get into entertainment in the United States? They did not go on television right away. They did not go into theaters right away. They had to play themselves being imitated by white people. We are still at that stage. Our greatest directors, Coppola, Scorsese, everybody except three that I know of, John Turturro, Stanley Tucci, and Nancy Savoca, what they have had to do in order to make it into the media, and we let them do it. We didn't complain. We did some complaining, but not enough. They had to play the minstrel show. They had to play the gangster. And you know what? Just like the blacks, they played a better black than the white people imitating the black. From the time Jason Edward G. Robinson put on the wop face, we'll call it a wop face instead of a black face, okay? And all the Jewish actors played these characters, and they went on and on and on. We did not develop beyond that. What did the Jews and the blacks do that we have not done? They went and first educated their own. W.E.B. Du Bois wrote an essay in 1903 called The Talented Tenth, and he said, we are suffering because we are not together in using the top of our community to bring the rest up. We didn't do that. So you know what happens? We are relegated to the talented untenth. That's what society has continued to show. Whether it's the worker who can't get anything done, the gangster who gets everything done and does it wrongly, or this current invasion, which is gangsters without guns. There's nothing different between Goodfellas and what's going on with Jersey Shore right now, and all except these kids don't have guns. That's it. All right, and it's going to continue unless we do something which is to educate ourselves. I call it the Franoy strategy, and I don't want to get into the details of the strategy now. We'll work on it. But what we need to do is we need to get beyond this sense of, you know, this is the way Italian Americans have been discriminated against for years. We are as much responsible for what takes place as MTV, as Paramount Pictures, as any of that. We have not created our Spike Lee. We came close. But why did Turturro, why did Tucci, why did Nancy Savoca go on and not do Italian American? Spike Lee has continued to do African American films, whether you like him or not. He portrays the Italian African American community in such a way, but he did it to people who understood what he was talking about. You mentioned Eyes on the Prize. Anybody here know Eyes on the Prize is a 13-part documentary series done on African American culture that I had to watch in high school and that I will never forget. We don't even have a one-part documentary film on Italian American culture. We have got to start fra noi, among us. Go ahead and do all the lawsuits you want. Go ahead and do all the protesting that you want. But unless we create a front that is united with our business leaders, our educators, our film producers, etc., why do you think we have these kids doing this stuff on MTV? Because they don't know any better. You know, last week I said, shame on MTV. Well, you can't say shame on MTV. Shame on these kids. Shame on their family. If these kids were in my neighborhood acting that way when I was a kid, and I acted pretty crazy when I was a kid, people said, shame on you, and it made me think. Or if it didn't work with me, they went to my family. Shame on you. All right? This is what we should have done all along. And the problem that we have here is this sense of community. We've never developed, we may think we have a sense of community, and I come from the Midwest. Last week in the Summit on the Shore, the Midwest was mentioned about 15 times about being ignorant people out there. Well, you know what, there's a lot of people out there like me who weren't ignorant, all right? I am here now because, you're right, they didn't pay attention. May 2nd, I'm being given an award by the Sons of Italy for my contribution to education. You know what my talk is going to be about? Why I had to leave Chicago to get this award. All right? So what I'm saying is we need to educate ourselves There's producers from MTV, there's actors and so on. Why don't those people, why don't we have a major actor, a major politician, because supporting this cause? Because these people do not see being Italian American as something valuable. When we interview Italian American officials on television, as soon as the camera turns off, they become Italian. It's very interesting because we have trained, and we are our own worst enemies, because we gave our kids scholarships to go to schools before we created schools that were worthy of our kids. And that's what, when you don't see yourself inside a cultural mirror, what do you see? Nothing. Who sees nothing in a mirror? Anybody know the folklore? A vampire. What do vampires do? They live off the blood of other people. That's what all these buffoons and these gangster characters and the directors, they're living off the blood of other people and not of our own Italian-American blood. I'm going to stop it here because, like I said, I can go on forever. I have many ideas for how to unite. We can't just do this just with our politicians, just with our elected officials, or just with our... We need to educate everybody, and I am willing, from this group, to travel the United States. I do it pretty much as it is, but I am willing and I volunteer to travel the United States, to go to the Italian-American communities in Omaha, Nebraska, in San Diego, California. And I've done this and I continue to do this to bring together on a united front, and it's what I would call a many-frontal attack. We have created Italian America, more so on the East Coast than anywhere else. Now we need to create Italian Americans. Thank you.